1, 2, 3. Is this how you sync audio? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Adrian here for Digital Dojos. Hopefully, I remember what I'm doing, and damn, hasn't been a while. Though I have been MIA here on YouTube, and we'll address that in a totally separate video. I am back. I'm here, and I'm looking forward to be creating some content again. I'm looking forward to be talking about tech, and I thought a fitting way to come back would be to address some of my favorite technology over the last year, so the 2018 to 2019 year. Now, despite not being here on YouTube and creating content as often, I am and have been still very involved in the tech community, and it's still a big, important part of my life and day-to-day workflow and just my career in general. So I want to address some of the stuff that's really kind of become essential to me. And again, granted, this isn't necessarily products that have been released in the last year, just more so products I've been personally using on a day-to-day basis. So let's jump right into it. First and foremost have to be the Apple AirPods. These are not only my favorite Apple product released in the last 5 years. They're just they're just that essential to me on a daily basis. I always have these on. I always have these with me. I charge them. It's the one thing I always check to have almost before even my wallet and keys anytime I leave the house, because they're that essential. And yes, they look like dental floss, but they're convenient. That's really what it comes down to. It's just the convenience. They're not the best sounding. They're not noise isolating. And other companies are trying to introduce things like that, like Bose or what have you. Bluetooth technology was never new. So it was again a product I never knew I needed. Apple really just implemented it in the right way. And if you're in the Apple ecosystem already, you have an iPhone, maybe you have an iPad or Mac. These really truly just work, and especially with the iPhone, it's so easy to kind of put them on when you're on the go, take calls, it'll pause when you take them out. All of these things just really work seamlessly, and that's why I personally am a huge fan of them. The second generation just came out, so if you don't have AirPods at all, or you've been looking or waiting to pull the trigger, I think there's no better time than right now. Next up is more so of a technology, and that's blue light technology. So this is technology that emits from all of your electronic devices, basically. It's something that comes from your monitors, your screens, and it's harmful to your eyes in that it can affect things like your sleep and just overall your eye strain. So there's been a lot of solutions for this. It started out with me by downloading Flux years ago. It's one of the apps that I always install on my computers. It works for Mac, Windows, and Linux. And this adds kind of a hue or a tint to your screen to kind of minimize or mitigate the blue light that's being exposed to your eyeballs. Now, it's become more mainstream in that Apple has released this on iOS and macOS. It's called Night Shift Mode. I believe there's also some Android alternatives that you can install. I'll try to link to some of those. You can also get things like physical implementations. These are glasses that were sent to me years ago that have those filters built in. And while it does takes getting used to, you have that yellowish orange tint to everything you look at, whether it's glasses or your screen. It is really, really effective, and you truly notice a difference after you get used to it, and then you stop using it for whatever reason. For example, when I use things to color correct or adjust video, I turn it off, and that brightness and that hue just really is noticeably different. Next up is something I arguably just recently started using, and I also want to throw a disclaimer out there. They are a client of mine in that I run an IT consulting business here with my colleagues in San Francisco, and they are a client of ours, and that is Scribd. Now, I've been working with Scribd for the last 2.5 years. I heard about them years and years ago, but I never truly used their product till the last couple months, to be honest. I was always a huge fan of Audible and audiobooks. What Scribd offers is essentially they're always described as kind of like the Netflix of audiobooks, ebooks, and documents. You subscribe to them and you get unlimited access to those 3 categories in their library. You pay $10 a month to get access to a ton of documents, a ton of ebooks, and a ton of audiobooks. And over the years, their library has just grown tremendously. I signed up years and years ago before I had any relationship with them at all. And I was just a huge fan of Audible's library. But in contrast, nowadays, I spend $15 a month on Audible for 1 credit towards 1 book that I own, granted. So if I cancel my Audible subscription, I continue to own that book. Whereas Scribd is I get access to a library of stuff for $10 a month. So less on a monthly basis, and I get access to multiple things, and I can listen to multiple books. So far in the last couple months, their library selection has been just great. Like everything that I want to listen to, they've had. Even new books have come out, and they're pretty quick with that, and they're introducing things like original content. So again, if you're a huge fan of any of those categories, be sure to check it out, try it out, and see what you think. Next is a gaming device, and this is something again that was out for a while, and this is the Nintendo Switch. This is something that I was just kind of looking to pick up because I've always been an avid gamer. In the most recent years, or last couple years, I haven't got to game as much. I've become more of a casual gamer, and I miss that. Like I miss playing with my friends on the PC and gaming and all of that. And as I had to allocate more and more time to work, I wanted something that was just easy to kind of pick up and go with, and the Nintendo Switch was like a perfect solution for that. Just because like I didn't really play games much on my iPhone, and in the recent years, this was dedicated to that. And moreover, Nintendo offering their unique library of games like Mario Party, Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros. It was really cool to kind of get back to my childhood roots and play a lot of those games. When I have people and friends over, being able to just dock this into the docking station and play it on the big screen and have everybody gathered around is a great experience, something that I missed. And just again, those unique games and titles, it's really just become my casual gaming device when I'm commuting around the city. And the ability and technology to kind of just dock it and go and play on the big screen is really, really great. And I'm a huge fan of the Nintendo Switch thus far. My iPhone XS Max. This is my daily driver. I'm using it to shoot this video right now, actually, so I'm going to throw some B-roll in. But it's Apple's flagship phone, right? It's the latest phone. I'm no stranger to the Apple ecosystem, if you couldn't tell already. It works for me. It does what I need it to do. It's my daily camera. It's a great form factor. I love the big screen. And as phones have gone bigger and bigger, I've actually become a huge fan of that whole interface. It just works. It is what it is. I carry two phones on a daily basis. Typically, I have like a personal phone, a work phone. They're both iPhones right now, so I'm looking to switch to another flagship Android device just so I can have the best of both worlds. And that's the great thing. Nowadays in 2019, there's so many options out there. There's so many great flagship phones that you're not, like Apple isn't just the primary one out there anymore. Next one is also in the realm of ecosystems, and this is something that when I moved to the States like 2 years ago that I finally caved in and bought, and that was the Sonos sound system and the ecosystem as a whole. Sonos is like not the it's high fidelity in the sense that it is great audio. It's not the best out there, and audio is one of those spectrums where you can just throw more and more money at it and get better and better sound, and there's a lot of different brands and implementations out there. But for what it does, it's another thing of convenience, just like the AirPods I talked about earlier. There's a wide range of speakers that you can get, whether it's a Sonos One, Sonos Play 5s. I don't know if I think they still offer the Play 3s, but there's a lot of different tiers of speakers that you can get for your needs, whether it's just something to put in your bedroom, something for your home entertainment system, something for more of a party and living room atmosphere. I personally have the Sonos Play 1s, I have the Sonos Play Bar, I have the Sonos Play 5, and Sonos has really just become an ecosystem for me and in my household, being able to wirelessly play music across different rooms, sync them all at once, and have them play, music throughout the house and what have you, has become a real great, product and day-to-day thing for me. I use it for my entertainment system, and just all across the board has become a really great product. And as they upgrade, as they launch new devices and integrations, like for example, the new Sonos with the Amazon Echo integration or Amazon Alexa, I know that's the A word that I shouldn't be saying on YouTube or to trigger my own. Sonos has become really a huge part of my overall just workflow. I say workflow, but routine and things I use in my day-to-day living. And that leads me into, like I said, the infamous tech A word, the Amazon Echo line of devices. Something that has really tied into my whole like smart home. I want a huge like smart home binge, and these really tie it all in. It's the Amazon Assistant. It answers all the basic questions, whether it's simple calculations, a quick search. You want to know who that actor is or what that movie is, or some random fact. There's so many cool different Amazon integrations with this. Furthermore, it being able to tie in with things like my lights and everything like that. It really does everything for me, from my alarm, controlling my lights, turning on specific devices in my house. All of these different things, as my monitor turns off there, have become really tied into my Amazon Echo devices. I have the Dot, I have two Dots, I have the Echo, and I'm looking to add something like the Echo Show to my kitchen. They have a great wide range of devices, and again, as you can tell, I'm a huge fan for kind of like ecosystems. And this next product really it plays into that. That's the Philips Hue. I mean, which tech YouTuber at this point have you not heard of that has mentioned or has some sort of Philips Hue-like devices, right? Smart bulbs are everywhere on YouTube in the tech industry, and they're just fun, right? They're not necessarily necessities, though I do think that like it's important for me to obviously have light in my household. These do save you energy and time and money in the long run, but it's also nice. It's entertainment. I have a couple of these bulbs and light strips around the house. They add to the ambiance, they add to the vibe, they tie into things like my music and when I play movies. It's just a cool product, right? There's a lot of different solutions and alternatives out there that you can get for cheaper. I just personally started with the Philips Hue system, and like the Sonos, you can buy the kind of the lowest tier, the lowest package, and just kind of add on as you see fit along the way. And that's something I really like about these ecosystems. As somebody who loses things a lot, and I mean a lot, whether it's my wallet or my keys, the Tile has become a really great line of products that I just throw on everything that I can. Primarily my keys. Like these are essential for my keys because I always lose these or leave them in pants pockets or coats. So being able to ping these and have it play sound and quickly find out where it's at. In the event that I ever lose anything or have something stolen, I can find these. I throw them in my backpack. I put them in my laptop case. I even have the Tile Slim that came with the last pack I got, and these allow you to like throw something. For example, like I usually use a card holder because I like just like minimal things when I'm going out and I don't want to carry a lot. So if I can open my own card holder here, you can like fit this into your card holder or your wallet, and that way anytime you go like or you lose this. This isn't the most ideal size, honestly. I wish they made it in like a credit card form, but you can slip something like this into a wallet or what have you. And the cool thing is with the Tile technology in the community, the way it works is if you lose something, if somebody steals something, other tiles can essentially detect tiles around them. So if you mark it as lost, and somebody else who has a tile kind of like wanders by your device, if it sees that kind of signal or the Bluetooth, essentially, I'm assuming is how it works, the Tile community can essentially pinpoint your device if it's ever lost and give you an idea of where it was last spotted. So that's a really cool feature within that. Last but not least is a website, something I've been using quite a lot. It's a community that I always go to. It's one of those sites I just daily or check on a daily basis, I should say, and that's Product Hunt. I'm a huge fan for like always looking for new things, new apps, new services, and Product Hunt is essentially like almost like not necessarily a Reddit, but it's like a board of great products, and people can upvote them in the way that Reddit or Dig used to, use that formula. But in the tech community, it's just become really big for like startups and different technologies out there. And it's allowed me to find really cool products and things that like I never knew existed. So definitely check it out, Product Hunt. I honestly find myself checking this on a daily basis. And some of the things in this list that I just mentioned is how I found out about them. So with that wraps up my favorite tech for the last year. As somebody who started out as a tech YouTuber here on YouTube, I was always about like finding out the latest and greatest things, reviewing new things, and always wanting to have the new thing and new toy to play with. But as I've grown older, I've obviously just kind of focused on things that work for me and work well, and stuck to that. Not always, having the latest and greatest, and that's fine. To each their own. These are just things that, again, in the last year have worked personally for me in my ecosystem. Maybe you're an Android user, maybe you're not in the Mac or Apple ecosystem, maybe you're more of a PC user and you're in that family of devices, then there's going to be different alternatives for you. For me personally, this is what has worked for me. These are what the best products and apps and recommendations that I can give as of right now. But as always, when we started Digital Dojos, my colleagues and I, the message and the kind of mantra behind it was to make technology content for the masses, and I still believe in that. So again, there's a wide range of alternatives out there. These specific products, I'm not saying are the best. They're just my personal favorite. And I hope, some of you find them useful. And of course, as always, I'm looking forward and always looking to find new things. So throw your recommendations and your favorite tech that you've been using down below in the comments. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.